And good evening, people. Hello. Little bit flickery on this camera. Not sure if I can do anything about that or not. Evening, Derek. Little bit of latency. Thomas. Evening, Tom. Good to see you. Before we get started, feedback. Oh no. Okay, hang on then. We'll try that. Hopefully that will solve the feedback. Does that solve the feedback? Have we lost all the echoey, decoey stuff? Or are we still getting it? Can somebody tell me if the echo has gone, please, and the feedback? That would be most helpful. It's fine. Good stuff. Cheers, Derek. Before we start this evening, I'd just like to say that tonight's stream is sponsored by nobody. Nobody has paid me for the printer, the camera, the laptop, the microphone, the drink I'm drinking, the lights, the internet. Nothing. All mine, all my money, so I can say what I want and do what I want. Right. Why are some people getting feedback and some people not getting feedback? Anyway, that said, that's the end of it. Sponsored by nobody, nothing, nada. Okay? Just me and a box from Mr. Prusa. Okay, TK, thanks for letting me know. Appreciate that. I appreciate you coming. That's the important thing. So tonight, it was on your end. Oh, Tom, cheers, mate. Making me panic for no good reason. Tonight, we're going to see how far we get. Got a couple of hours. I'm actually nicking an hour when I should be watching Only Connect, but we're going to watch it an hour later. So nobody tell me how well you did if you watch it. I have got up on my other machine up here. I have Prusa Knowledge Base How to Build. So we are going to work our way using their instructions and what's in the box. So the first thing I'll do after the other night's complete false start, we'll get everything unpacked and we will make a start, eh? Just see what we can get up to. So I hope the overhead shot is okay. I realise that I'm a bit flickery. I don't quite know why. I think it's possibly because it's getting a bit of those strip lights in. I might move me a little like that. Later on, this camera will be used for showing you other shots. So, but I'm only running two cameras because I've got a crappy i5 thing. So I can't go too bad. Hopefully the stream's clean enough. Okay. Got the adrenaline pump going. Oh, brilliant. Sometimes I think you need that with my streams, Thomas. So yeah, we'll just get everything out of the box and we'll just see where we get. What I intend on doing, like I say, a couple of hours this evening. And then when we can find somewhere to stop, we will stop. And then I will intend on continuing tomorrow night. And hopefully finishing on the second day. Unless I move like some kind of hero this evening and get it all done inside 2 hours. But I can't see that myself. So there we go. Yeah, remember to hit the like button, guys. I know you're all subscribed. My subscribers seem to be going up and down like a yo-yo at the moment. Not quite sure why. But you know what? I'm kind of past caring about things like that anymore. So we've got boxes and boxes. So what we need for the first step, we've got to find the tools, I suppose. When do the tools come in? Now the laptop is HP, Derek, and I'm not sponsored by them either. HP Source, maybe. Right, who wants those? Anybody? Right, ready? 1, 2, 3, up! Right, whoever got them, well done. Yeah, we'll put those out of the way as well. We don't need them for now, do we? Don't know whether you've noticed, but I've kind of turned things around a little. I am not blocking my door this evening, working on the theory that if I get halfway through building it, I don't want to have to move it to be able to get out of the room. So I've turned things around a little, just so I can get in and out. I thought that was quite important. I'm trying to find. I'm finding everything but the bit I need at the moment. Everything the bit I need. I need the X carriage, don't I? Right, I need my tools. Always useful. Is this exciting so far? Is this holding you? I really ought to have a team of cheerleaders, really, or something to keep you entertained while I actually do some work. Aha! We have it. We have it. That's the first thing we need. So what else do we need? Is anybody following along? Be helpful if somebody did. If you need the link, I'm going to attempt to put it in the chat box. This could work, because this could go absolutely awfully wrong. And if it does and I disappear, I apologise. And we hit paste, and we do that. So that is a link to what I'm doing. If anybody feels like following along and making sure I don't make a complete mess up of it, might be quite helpful. Right, so let's go back to that. Carriage preparation. So I need all the printed parts and fasteners needed for this chapter are included in the box X, Y and Z axis, which is the one I'm opening. That's useful. Ooh, we've got to do some application. It's not for your thingy. When you get of a certain age, you might get that confused with something else. Good evening, Dan. Thank you very much for joining. Good afternoon to you, of course. It will be afternoon there by now, won't it? Very nice to have you on board. Good Lord, 9 people. That's almost beaten the other night's record already. So we'll get this out. We want some M3N nylon lock nuts. We need some M3 by 10 screws. We need some bearing clips. We need some linear bearings included in the rods package. So I'll have to open that up. That's the tube, I guess. Oh, just into the afternoon. Well, I hope you had a nice lunch, or whatever you call it over there. Oh, that is so small and so cute. Look, it's so little. Sorry. I'm going slightly mad. Right, I'm wondering if the bolts I need are in here. What did I say I needed? M3N. M3N, yes, they're in here. Oh, it's all in little bags. So most of what I need is going to be in this little baggie here, by the look of it. Don't need that at the moment. I need the rollers out of here. My Mini was not a kit, so this is fun to watch and see what I've missed out on. Pain, suffering, a small nightmare is possibly what you've missed out on. But you know, that's just how it is. I can get into this tube now. Good Lord. I did actually see somebody post on the Prusa Mini, one of the Prusa Mini Facebook groups, that they had both ends pop off this tube in transit, and one of his rods had shot out the end and gone out the side of the box, which It's a bit upsetting for him, so he's having to wait for Prusa to send him another one. But hey ho. Right, so somewhere in here. Oh, no, they're big bearings. We don't want those just yet, do we? We want the ickle ones. Those. And I'm guessing we want 3 of them, seeing as there's 3 holes in there. Oh, I've got loads of them. Only need 3 at the moment. So we will put those 3 there. We should put those big boys that look like that, we should put those back in. Hey! Never let the machine win. Good evening, thank you for coming back. Appreciate that after the other night's complete debacle. But we're going to have a go at it, like I say, a couple of hours tonight, see how far we get. And then same time tomorrow night we'll finish off whatever we need to do and crack on with trying to make it print. So concentrate, Matthew, concentrate. Bearing clips. They're going to be in this baggie here, I reckon, which says Y and Z axis, mini idler, belt holder, 1 mini Z bottom, 1 mini Z top. Right, so they're not in that one. Okay, are they in this one? Okay. Bearing clips. Bearing clips, right, they're in this one. Oh, I see, the little metal things, right, I was looking for printed. So we have those things, look, they're like little anodized metal, shiny little things. If anything goes out of focus or falls off the table or anything like that, and you feel like telling me, do so by all means. I'm wondering whether I should be actually using that bag, but we'll have a look. So 3 times M3 by 10. Let's have a look. M3 by 12, M3 by 10R, M3 by 10R, 6 off. So I'm into this baggie then. Okie dokie. And then I need my lube. Comes to us all eventually, gentlemen. We're all going to need lube eventually. Excuse me, I'll just have a little slurp. Oh, that's so much better. Right, so it says, for the following step, please prepare Prusa lubricant applicator 1, Prusa lubricant 1, several paper towels to wipe oil and grease from the bearing surface. Each bearing must be lubricated before mounting to the printer. Follow the instructions carefully. Paper towel. I actually forgot about that and I had to run back into the house and get some because I didn't have any. So paper towel. So step 4 is lubricating the bearing. Use a piece of fabric as a pad to protect your working surface from grease. I don't think I'm going to bother about that somehow. What we'll do is we'll put a couple of pieces of this down. Like so. Can you actually see what I'm doing? No. I need to be more over here for you, don't I? I can see why I don't do this for a living. Right, so there we go. Talk amongst yourself. Right. Evening, Andrew. Good to have you on board. Make sure the bearing is clean inside. Wipe the preservative oil off the bearing surface with a paper towel. It is necessary to lubricate all 4 rows of balls inside the bearing. Open the lubricant and pierce the hole in the tube with the tip of the cap. Screw the tube onto the applicator. Carefully slide the entire bearing onto the applicator. Picture 1, picture 2. This is getting a little bit... Yes. Okay. Try not to chuck the bearing on the floor. Caught it. That would have been embarrassing. So we have to clean the bearing. Shall we see what actually comes off this? See how much cack there is on it. I might move this one round a bit in a minute because I'm sort of turning my head sideways rather a lot. Well, it wasn't that dirty. Let's bring you over here a bit. Let's just place it. Sorry. You see, it's all gone jiggity shackety chickety joggity again. Sorry about that. You're just going to have to put up with the flickering. I'm really sorry, guys. I ain't no professional. So, bearing given a good clean up. We'll do all 3. And I'll try not to throw any more on the floor. I'm sure there's a technical way of getting these out of here. I don't know it. Well, they are a bit slimy. I do appreciate you joining, Dan. Especially seeing as you're at the W, as it were. Working for demand. 10 people watching. Good lordy lovers. Your wonders never cease. So, we have given those bearings a good clean. They weren't too bad really. It's a little bit on the mucky side, but you know, I've blown my nose and had worse. So we now have the little applicator. Now, any of you that haven't had to do this, if you can actually see, I don't know whether that's going to focus for you to see or not. I might actually just put you on the other screen, just for a moment. You can't really see, but basically it's 3D printed, and it's got a line of holes there, and then it's got 4 lines of holes going up. So the theory is when you squirt the grease in, the grease comes out of the holes and lines up with the bearings. So it's actually injecting the grease into the bearing. Well done. I haven't streamed for a long while. Because as you well know, mate, life does get in the way, doesn't it? I'm just cleaning out a little bit of stringing that's going on inside there with a screw I had to hand. Yeah, life does get in the way. Michael, thank you very much for popping in. Do appreciate it. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. And I've not been drinking yet. Right, so what we have to do is we have to slide that into there like that, but I've got to line up the little holy bits. Oh, do you know that's taken a load of grease off the inside of that? I'll give that a wipe now. So that's actually pushed some of the travel grease that's in it outside of there. So yeah, I've got to line up the dots that are on here with the bearings inside there. So let's go back to my instructions. Screw the tube into the applicator. Carefully slide the entire bearing onto the applicator. Turn the tube and the applicator clockwise until you feel slight resistance. This means the holes in the applicator are aligned with the ball rolls. Gently press the tube to push the lubricant into the ball rolls of the bearing. Look at the front of the bearing. When the applicator pushes the lubricant out around the black gasket, stop pressing. Right, so once it starts piddling all over the place, it's full, I think is what they're saying. So you turn that, until you feel a bit of resistance. It's not that I don't trust them, but I'm just going to, I go between those two lines of bearings like that and turn like that. Right, so that's now in the right place. And then I squeeze until I see stuff coming out the top. And I can just see that coming out the top now. You probably can't see that, but it's just bubbling out of there. So that tells me that one, oh, beautifully lubed. So then I give it a little bit of a quarter turn to unline it and slide it out. Go to the next one. Slide it in. Turn it so you can feel it. Give it a squeeze. There you go. You can see the lube coming out the top this time. Well, at least I hope you can. Like that. And then give it a quarter turn. Slide it out. And go to the third one. Give it a squeeze. There we go. And that is me fully lubed up and ready for action. Are we holding your interest here, or are you feigning already? We've still got 10 people, so nobody's actually run off yet, so that's good. Okay, so that's the 3 bearings greased up. No. Wipe off the excess grease on the outside of the bearing with a paper towel. This procedure of do not remove the applicator from the tube. Keep it protected. Oh, well, I've already removed it, but we'll put it back. So, correct orientation of the bearings. Right, so if you're following along with this, that's what she said. If you're following along with this, you can see that there has to be, the bearing has to sit, so there's 2 rolls of the inner little ball bearings side by side like that when it's sat into the frame. So I've got to be able to see them and put them in. Aziz, more light. So when I've got that in like that, avoid placing the bearings like the last picture. Let me have a look at the last picture. Oh, I see, just one on its own. Yeah, so you've got to have 2 side by side at the bottom like that, lines of bearings on each one, not it sat in the middle. So you've got them like that. That's how they've got to be. Okay, and then we need these little clippy whippies, which are like these anodized things. They go over the top, and we need these little black M3 by 10 Rs. I could do with a tray or something to put these on. Unfortunately, fortunately, I have something to hand. I can chuck those all over there. And these are the M3 by 10 Rs, these little ones here. I might have to put 2 of those in. Now I'm going to struggle a little bit here. And I'll tell you why I'm going to struggle a little bit. Although you can't see it, while I haven't been doing what I do, some time ago I had an accident with a saw bench, and it took the top off my thumb, which means that that was getting on for 4 months ago, I think. But what it means is that I have nerve endings right at the end of my thumb now, and it's just a bit difficult to use. I haven't got to the range of touch or feeling it that I used to have, which makes things like this a little bit more difficult than they used to be. But you know, it could be worse. It was only a top of a thumb. It could have been an awful lot worse, but it wasn't. So we live to fight another day. Right, why are they just going straight through? Oh, because I've got to put nylon lock nuts on the other end. Read the instructions. Can somebody just tell me what I'm supposed to be doing here? Because I'm not doing a very good job. So I've got to get that onto there. I'm going to need my special spanner in a minute, aren't I? My special Prusa spanner. But we'll get those on first. Yeah, da 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 dee da dee. Hey, Stephen in the house. Good evening, Stephen. You'll be glad to hear we're only going to do a couple of hours this evening, Steve. We'll be on till about 9 o'clock UK time. See how far I can get, and then what I don't do this evening, we will carry on with tomorrow night at the same time, same bat time, same bat channel, and hopefully tomorrow night we'll get it finished. But I do really appreciate you coming in and saying hello, Steve. Much appreciated. I know what a busy guy you are. Busy guy. Right, so we've got those in like that. Ooh, crump. Tighten both nuts using the 2mm Allen key and the universal wrench. Repeat these steps for the 2 remaining linear bearings. So we need the universal wrench. And we've got 11 watching. Start them. I took my right some now and crushed it in the car door while I was. Sounds painful, fella. I mean, I know full well how painful this still is, even now. I mean, it's not painful as much as annoying, really. Is that the right side of that? No. Oh, we'll try this side instead. Okay, yeah, we've got the spanner on. Right, so I won't tighten these up fully until I make sure I've got my bearings set right. Which is like that. What's really let me down here is there's no torque settings. Come on, Mr. Prusa, we should have torque settings for this. Don't you think? Torque it down too. Doesn't say how tight to do them. I'm not going to do them stupidly tight. They're on lock nuts. So they should be fairly secure. Now the other thing I've noticed is I've got to make sure that's central from one end to the other, which it isn't at the moment. So I'm just going to need to slacken off slightly. Yeah, Steve, it's well, you know what it's like, mate. Trying to find time to do anything. And when you do have to do it all yourself, as I'm sure all of you know that do YouTubey stuff or Twitch stuff or whatever, when you have to do it all yourself, all the setting up, all the camera work, all the audio work, being bothered to actually get up and do it sometimes is the biggest issue that you have. I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. When after the nightmare that was when I opened the box up on the Friday, I did actually think to myself, do you know what? I could just build this over the weekend. Why am I messing about doing streams? Just, build it in my own time at my own speed without having to worry about everybody else. But, half of the fun, isn't it? Michael, that's not very good, mate, is it? This is turning into a show and tell what's broken on me. Right, so that's one in. We've got one in. I think really, as us guys get older, we get more clumsy and we do more damage to ourselves. And the thing I found is it takes an awful lot longer to heal than it used to. When you were young, you would you'd bounce back and everything would be right within days. Oh no, not when you're starting to get on a bit. 52, you know. 52. I've still got all my own teeth. They're in a jar at the side of the bed. Yeah, as you get older, it takes a bit longer. As do most things. Well, not actually, no. Some things take less time. Any roader. I was today, one of my tasks, we've been cutting hedges on the estate. Very tall leyland eyes, laurels, that kind of thing. And I was up in the cherry picker with the long reach hedge cutters and the long reach chainsaw, lopping saw, and I can feel it. You know, I can really feel it. I won 2 printer boards from BTT and got delivered a 3.5-inch touchscreen. So I contacted them and they said they were sorry and they'd send me out 2 boards now. Right, you've got to email them again and say, no. Actually, what you need to send me, what I actually won was a Porsche Carrera or something like that, and see if they'll send you that out instead. Good old Big Tree Tech. Do you know, I do think these Chinese companies, they all very much have different ways, good ways of getting into contact with them. Some of them, you get on the Facebook group, you get in contact with them straight away. Other ones, you know, you do the live chat. Well, the live chat, it's not really live chat, is it? You do the chat and you can get in contact with them that way and they sort things out. But there's no consistency between the different companies as to which is the best way of getting hold of them. I mean, to a degree, Prusa is a little like that, as I'm sure you're aware. If you raise tickets and stuff or email them, it can take them quite well to get back to you. Whereas if you can get on a live chat, things tend to move an awful lot quicker on a live chat. Things get sorted. I remember when Shane was one of their technical support guys on live chat, and I had some issues of my own making, really, with my Mark III. He was phenomenal. I'm sure you all know Shane. But yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. He could sort stuff out, and so patient. You know, when you're being an absolute numpty, and he's asked you the same question 5 times because you haven't given him the right answer yet, and then you tell him what he wants to hear, and then he can solve your problem. And that happened to me more than once. But yeah, we very much indebted to people like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it does differ. Get this last nut on, and then we have the bearings placed up. Get an email every week to answer questions. I don't get you. What do you mean, Andrew? Seven stitches. Ouch. Right, I'm just fiddling with last one with my dicky thumb. Yeah, I've always said to the missus, talking of accidents and bits missing, that when my hair finally starts to fall out, I'm not going to try and do comb overs or anything like that. When it starts to go, the head's getting shaved. But I've warned her that there's an awful lot of scars and dents and bits missing up there, which of course, while I have the head of hair that I have, ain't so much of an issue, but when it all comes off, it's going to look a little interesting. So we're up to 12 watching now. which is fantastic. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it, each and every one of you. So we've got that done. We've got that done. Yeah, it doesn't actually say how tight to do them. In fairness, it doesn't. For the following steps, please prepare heat bed spacer times 9, M3x8 screws times 9, mini Y belt holder times 1, and some screwy things. So, does it just mean no standoffs? I think they must mean those little standoffs. Whoever that is, thank you very much. Yeah, well, the only problem with that is I've got to try and remember how each one happened, because most of them happened in my youth. Yeah, these heat bed spacers, these are just the nuts that you used to get off. Was it RS232 interface cables? Is that right? Andrew, any cubic is a company I will never order from again. Sent me a bill plate instead of a complete unit. It took 2 months to get. When I told them I was wrong, they argued with me and I had one message a week. Oh, I see. It was pathetic. I gave up, so I paid £50 for the bill plate. Not the whole unit. Well, now I can see your reasoning why you don't want to deal with them anymore. That is glaringly obvious. Just let me check my phone just in case that's a call out, because I am on duty this evening, so if I do suddenly run away, I will apologise now. Oh no, it's just Twitter telling me that Dan has just mentioned me in a tweet, trying to get some more people in the room, but we've lost two. 2 people have fallen asleep or something. Hey ho, such is life. Right, so we've got those oily fingers. They were absolutely right about that. What was I looking for now then? Let's look at picture 2. The black thing with the ziggy-zacky bit on. Okay, we can find that. See, I know all the technical names for everything. Don't know whether you've noticed. Right, so it wasn't in that bag. It's not in that bag. Anybody see it anywhere? It's in there, look, I think. No messing with shows people can't use to person that has. Yeah, but then you've got to remember who you've told what. Aha! This is what I was looking for. So, I think we've got everything there we need. Is anybody actually following this? Ooh, insert the M3x8 screws. I don't know whether they're M3x8s. M3x8 from the bottom of the Y carriage. Okay, yeah. Screw the heatbed spacer onto the screw from the top of the Y carriage and tighten it with the universal wrench and the Allen key. Use this procedure for all 9 spacers. Place the mini belt holder at the bottom. Let's get those 9 in the right spot first. Okay, so that appears to be as simple as one of those through there, one of those on there. So what we'll do is we'll get them all in and then we'll tighten them all up, because I feel that is possibly the way to go. So what's everybody's new build going to be then? What have anybody else got in the pipeline? Anything? See, I've already got that one the wrong way up. Anything I should know about? Anything new on the horizon for anyone? No? Nobody doing anything? Oh! Excuse me. Right, so bearing that way up. So that in from there, that up from there. That's the right way. That's the way we've got to do it. Up from the bottom, not on the top. Is this camera correctly positioned, or do you suggest I move it to, I don't know, another room? Derek's got your A20 review coming this weekend. Excellent, Derek. How long have you had that? Before your review, I hope you've had plenty of time and done plenty of printing with it. If you want to stick a link in the description to your channel, Derek, by all means do so. You have the ability to do that. Blob Monster is forcing me to upgrade my Mark III to a Mark III S Plus soon. Well, I don't think you can go wrong doing that. Nobody likes a Blob Monster. But a monster done some good prints and tests. Fantastic. That's a lot better than just churning out a review after 5 minutes. Or deciding that something is rubbish after 5 minutes without properly testing it. It's the other side of the coin. So yeah, Derek, stick a link to your channel up. Anybody that isn't subscribed to Derek and wants to see his A20, see what he thinks of it, subscribe to his channel, hit the bell button, and then when that review goes live, you'll be able to see it. My A20 is a paperweight. I can't remember what I had from G-Tech. If people who know me from way back in the day will know, G-Tech and I had a very good relationship. I got an A10, an A10M, maybe. I got two. I think I got an A10, an A10M, an A20M, and an A30. I think that was it. All of which I used, thoroughly enjoyed, and passed on. A couple of I gave away, one of them I sold. I do have to admit, I really like the A10M until it jammed both the extruded arms. Yeah, my first ever 3D design done on Tinkercad was to turn the spool holders round that were on the top, and I did it and stuck it on, and it worked really well for me. And oh god, what's his name? The Australian guy, not Maker's Muse, the other one. He actually mentioned my little design to turn the spool holder around in his video. He used it and it had worked, and then a week later it broke. Mine didn't, his did. I explained to him in a private message that it was possibly down to his printing of it, as mine was still going strong. What was his name? Michael. Nice Australian dude. Anyway, yes, he actually used my design, and it was my first ever design, so I was kind of, oh, he used it. Teaching tech, that's it. So he used my design that I designed, and I was my first ever thing that I put on Thingiverse, and he went, and I found this, and I thought, oh my god, that's mine. And I put it on, and it worked really well, and then a week later they both snapped and fell off, and I was like, But yeah, you know, I actually got one of my first ever designs used by somebody clever. Somebody intelligent. Right, where am I up to now? I've got all those in. I've then got to put the... Got to put that. Let me get this right. So that needs to go that way around. Are you still following? That needs to go that way. Double check the mini Y belt holder orientation. I am doing. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, Teaching Tech Michael. That's exactly who it was. Yeah, good. Big fan of Mighty Car Mods. In fact, he's been on a Mighty Car Mods video as well. Mighty Car Mods, if you don't know, are two Australian dudes that do very strange things to cars. Very entertaining. Haven't watched any of their content for a while, I've got to say. But yeah, very entertaining guys. Secure this with the M3x12 screws. Right, M3x12 screws, but that just screws. Right, hang on a minute. M3x12s. So that's got to be those. I see, they're threaded. Right, okay. You didn't tell me that they were threaded. I'm more interested in what is going to go. I'll show you in a minute. I'll get one of these spun in. On the picture I can see, there appears to be something inside there on their instructions. But I don't quite know how that's going to work, because how on earth do you get it in? But yeah, Mighty Car Mods is it's quite the well, it's a very good program channel, very good channel. Done really well for themselves, bless them. And some of the stuff they do is crazy. And it's one of those things that I have absolutely no idea how I got into watching them. No idea at all. Just all of a sudden there I am watching these two young Australians build some weird stuff. Some weird stuff. Right, so we've got that done. Okay. Looking good. For the following step, please prepare mini Y plate front, which you push mini logo on the front. Now, we need a vote. 13 people watching, we need a vote. I have here the original front plate, okay? But while I was waiting for the machine to turn up, I printed on my Artillery Hornet, which is over there, that, which I don't know whether you can even see the colour, but it's a nice purpley thing. And looking at it, it looks fairly good. Now the question is, do I fit to start with the original? Because if then there's any issues with anything not being calibrated right, it can't be blamed on this piece that I've printed. Or do I just go for it with this? I'm tending on going with this and then getting it all up and running and then swapping it out afterwards. But what do you think, guys? Sean, alright mate, good to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. Much appreciated. M5x20s. Now how many of those am I supposed to have? 4. Okay, I can only see 3 there. So that could mean one of these screws is not like the other. No, they're all the same. I haven't messed that up. They're all set at the same depth. But I can only see 3 of those. So am I looking in a different bag? Use the OG and swap when needed. I would mod after. I see, Andrew. So, what you're saying is that if you were doing it, you'd mod afterwards, but because I'm doing it, you want me to do it straight away. Is that what you're saying? I don't think I'm going to be that brave. I really don't. I don't think I'm going to be that brave. Mini Y plate front with original Prusa mini logo to the front. 5 times M5 by 20s. 4 times M5 by... I don't think I've got... I haven't. I've only got 3. And I haven't dropped any. In fact, I don't think there's M3 by 20s. So, are we looking in here? Is it these... it's these big boys, is it? Are we looking at those? They're the ones, aren't they? 10 times M5 by 20. Yeah, it's the bigger ones. Yeah, well, Andrew, it ain't happening, mate. I'm going to go with original. And then we will swap it out at a later date. Because more content. Oh, now then. Extrusions. We want... Take all the extrusions. Compare the lengths you will need to 2 shorter 262mm extrusions for the Y-axis assembly. So the extrusions aren't in there. That's all rods. Where's my extrusions? Trapezial nuts and motors, power supplies, extrusions. So that's 1 and that. So we're going to be in here. So 2 times 30 by 262. So the theory is it's just the ones that are in this box. 14 viewing now, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into almost, I'm going to say almost double figures. Extrusione! Extrusione! I don't need to measure them because I hadn't taken them out of the box. Why am I pointing at that camera that's down there? We want to do this camera that's here. So, someone's got a pull on your beard, hairs, more content, lol. Behave yourself. Right, where am I going here? Place the short extrusion. Place a short extrusion to the left inner side of the mini Y plate front. See the protrusion on the plastic part. Do not place the extrusion directly onto the protrusion. On the left, there must be a gap. See the picture. Okay. Let's have a look at the picture. All right. So that is that. Right. So what it's saying is when you put it on, those of you at home that are hard of hearing, you don't put it on so it's like, well, you can't put it on so it's like that. It has to go. Can't really show you. It doesn't butt right up to here. Okay, they want it back here. If you are following, you will see what they mean. So it actually slots in there. I get that in, so you can see that now. If that's focusing, I can't see on this little screen if that's focusing or not. But you see, there's a gap there. There's a gap there. And there's a gap there. So you want to make sure there is actually a gap all the way around. Don't make it so it's too snug up. Okay? That's allegedly what they mean. Unless I'm getting this completely wrong. Nothing would surprise me. Slide the extrusion onto the plastic part. Fits it. Screw both parts with 2 M5 by 20 screws. When tightening the M5 by 20 screws, push the extrusion from above. Put that in like that. Okay, so you want to have it facing down with the writing like that. Put it on the flat surface and push down on there, top of the extrusion, while you put the screws in. So we will loosely put those in. We shall clear a bit of a space. I shall do it over here. Hold the area designated for. So you've got to push down on there while screwing those in there. Okay? Same to do. Tell you, best content, Andrew, would be if I shave my beard off, wouldn't it? I might get a couple of likes then. Have I had any likes yet? Can anybody tell me? No, I can't see. 13 viewings, so somebody's fallen asleep. Now that's difficult. How do you tighten that bolt when it's laid on the table? So we'll spin it up fairly tight, not laid on the table. Then we'll lay it on the table, we will push down, and we will tighten. Okay, so we have that one done. Step 1. Right. Place the short extrusion on the right inner side of the mini Y plate front. See the protrusion on the plastic part. Slide the extrusion onto the plastic part so that the protrusion is just so difficult to say out loud. So difficult to say out loud. Slide the extrusion to the plastic part so that the protrusion fits in the extrusion. Secure both parts. You see, they're doing this on purpose, aren't they? It's a flaming tongue twister. Slide the extrusion onto the plastic parts of the protrusion that fits into the extrusion. Do you know? The rain in Spain. So. Is that it? It lines up with that hole. It lines up with that hole. So it's something, you see, black on black is not good, is it? It's something like that. Okay, I'll show you on that one. It's something like that. By the look of it, because that's lining up nicely with my holes on the front. I'm guessing they want me to sit it down on there again and do me pushy down thing while I screw my bolty watts in. But we'll just check. Babyface. It's not babyface, mate. The biggest issue I had was I found out I got jowls under here, which I'd never had. But when I shaved all that off, I did do it when we were in lockdown, so nobody actually saw me, apart from the missus. But yeah, I got all this loose skin down here, which was a bit of a worry. Wasn't expecting to see that, so needless to say, it was grown back fairly quickly. Yeah, push that home. Yeah, push it down and tighten them up. Okie dokie. It's a lot of delusion. It's a lot of confusion, mate, I tell you. Oh, we're down to 10 viewers. We're dropping like flies. People have realised that I'm, you know, no way a professional. So they're off. They're running to the hills. If you haven't liked, please do like. If you haven't subscribed, which I know all of you have. Unless there's somebody lurking in the background who hasn't. And if that's you, and you're lurking in the background and you haven't, please do subscribe. Because it helps, apparently. It helps YouTube to know that I'm not the sad, lonely man that everybody thinks I am. And that maybe, you know, somebody might get some joy out of one of my videos. Good evening, sir! SPC3D in the house! Thank you very much for joining. It is much appreciated. Just a little recap. I've done next to nothing apart from talk an awful lot. But then if you've watched any of my live streams before, you'll know that's fairly long. We have got approximately another hour's building today. Hours building? I've hardly started. What I don't get done today, we will do same back time, same back channel tomorrow. So 7 o'clock UK time tomorrow night. We'll crack on. But we'll get as far as we can tonight in the time I am allowed. Okay, so we've got that done. Now then, following step. Mini Y idler times 1. Mini Y idler. Which bag is that in? Is that in this one? Mini Y idler. Yep, that's in here. Gravity is increasingly evil as we age. It is, except certain parts of the body which gravity stop affecting. If you know what I mean. So we need this now. This is the gravity Y. You see, you've set me off now. This is the mini Y idler. And then we need the bearing that's here. And we need some nuts and some bolts and some bits and some bats. So let's see what they actually say we need to do. So we've got to slide the square nuts into the holes and push them home with an Allen key. Again, you can't see what I'm doing. So push that one home. See, if you get the right size Allen key, you can actually put it into the threaded part, and then you can make sure that you've got it seated properly. Top tip. There you are, Matt's top tip. Nothing new here in Newcastle. No. Although the Scots have gone a bit mental this evening, haven't they? Hey, we can get out and get drunk and fall over. It's at the end of the hexagonal hole on the side, pushing the nut as far down as possible. Always make sure that the M3NS nuts are always inserted all the way down into the holes. I've done that. I have done that. Look at the pretty pictures to make sure I don't miss anything. Something I have to point out. When I did my Mark III, when I was doing some of the steps of it, I didn't realise on some of the steps there was more than one picture. Again, my stupidity. And I found it more difficult to actually build it because I didn't realise that like one step might have 3 or 4 photographs. I thought there was just one, and I was trying to understand the rest of them just looking at the one photograph, which slowed the job up a little. But then afterwards, of course, I realised that there were 2 or 3 photographs per step, and of course it makes life a lot easier. So we need to put that little locking nut. That needs to go into that hole. You can tell it needs to go into that hole because it's the shape of a nut, rather than the other side, which isn't the shape of a nut. So again, cheats way of doing it. Put it onto your Allen key. Put your Allen key into the hole, and then that will get it into the hole. Don't want to go all the way in now, so make sure I've got it something like that. There we go. She's gone in. She is in. So that's got that in. Then we need to put pulley in. Doesn't appear to be any specific way around for the pulley. The orientation of the pulley doesn't matter. Secure the bearing with an M3x20 screw. Don't fully tighten the screw. Place your finger on the bearing and ensure it can rotate freely. If needed, adjust the screw. So the M3x20 is going to be theirs. It's one of theirs. So we'll put that through there like that. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Use the wrong Allen key. Then we'll use the right Allen key. That's got a grip on the nut. We'll wind it up until the nut is something like, I don't know, that has got a grip on the nut actually. I think it's actually pushed the nut out a little. So we'll just give the nut a little bit more of a helping push. If we can get that to thread up. Yep, that's threaded up now. Just making sure that the bolt is going into the nylon part of the nut. Just so we know it's holding. So I've got it that tight. That's spinning beautifully. So we know that it's tight enough. We know that it's onto the nylon part of the nut, so it's not going to fall off. And we see that spinning beautifully, so that's good. And then place the mini Y-belt idler onto the mini Y-plate front. Alright, we get the fact it's mini. You don't have to keep telling us it's mini. Okay, I think we can dispose of the word mini. We understand. We know what we're building. We've not got 2 machines here. Place the Y-belt idler onto the Y plate front. See the orientation of the part according to the picture. So we will zoom in on the picture. So it's the bit that says R5 on it, or even F3 is at the top. So it's that way up. That goes into there. Like so. And then we need to fix that. We need to fix that. 2 M3 by 20 screws. Do not tighten the screws at this time. Leave a gap of 1 to 2 millimeters between the Y belt idler. I am not saying mini anymore. I'm going to miss that word out. It's getting on my nerves. Between the Y belt idler and the Y plate front. I'm guessing because that's a tension thing. One would presume. So we'll be using that to tension up the pulley. I'm guessing at a later juncture. Again, wrong Allen key. So I've got a bit of play on there. Same at the bottom. Does it look like a printer yet? Seems to have an awful lot of bits left. Okay, so that's that done. Bit of a wiggly wobble on there, which is apparently what we need to have. Y-axis smooth rods part preparation. So it would appear that in the set we've got 6 rods. We've got 4 small and 2 long, which are also fatter. So you want 2 of the short, thin ones. And then we also need those funny little square nutty slidey things that are like T-nuts but bigger, which are these little fellas. We need those as well. Right, got to get this end cap off again. Oh, wrong end. You'll understand why if you looked in the end of the pipe. Those big bearings are sat in there and I don't want to have to take those out again, so we'll come in from the other end. And we'll take 2 of the short, thinner rods out. So, those 2. Canadian Maker Project, welcome to the stream! Yes, full kit, mate. Not doing it all tonight, though. We've got about another hour tonight. And then we will continue same time tomorrow night to hopefully get it finished. But a bit stuck for time tonight. So we're just doing as much as we can, but safely and carefully and following the instructions. Okay, now chuck these rods through those things. He says, now please be very careful and gently insert the rods straight into the bearings. Do not apply too much force and do not tilt the rod. If you can't slide the smooth rod easily, check to make sure there are no bearings, that the bearings are aligned properly. In case you manage to push all the balls out from the bearings, you're knackered. That's not what it says, but we all know what it means. It means, oh God. Do you know what, Ron? You've not missed a lot. Please count them. 1 or 2 balls missing is okay. That's what she said. Please consider ordering new bearings. The bearings may leave excessive grease on the smooth rods. After the installation, wipe any residue off with a paper towel. We can do that. So, we should move this out of the way. We will get our carriage back. So what they want us to do is to put it through the keyhole. Ooh. Okay, that's one in. It's like that magician's thing where they've got the women in the box and they're putting the swords through. If there's no blood coming out the other side, we know we're doing it right. Watching at work is work that exciting, Ron. Do you know they do not feel a bit rough? I'm sure once they're set they'll be fine. I shouldn't have done that, should I? Anyway, where was I? So we've got rods in, so that's good. And then I've got to mount it to the carriage. Okay, so I have to have that facing away from me like that. And that needs to be to the way up and to the way over. So it wants to be like that. Does that look right? Anybody watching? That looks right to me. Yeah. Fit. A wimbo a wimbo. In the jungle, a mice jungle. Lion sleeps tonight. A wimbo a wimbo. I hope I don't get demonetized for that. Right, so gently slide. Place the carriage on the issues. Gently slide the smooth rods into the holes in the mini Y plate front. Start with the left rod and the right one. Insert 2M3NE into the side groove of the extrusion. Because inserting later becomes difficult. So 2 in there, 1 in there. Okay. So 2 in there. Get them the right way around. 1, 2 in there. I'm guessing that's a power supply thing. I might be wrong. 1 in there. So we've got those 3 in. Woohoo! We're flying along now, aren't we? Absolutely flying along. It's just... I'm surprised you can see my hands moving. It's like a matrixy thing. That's over 20 years old now. Right. Back plate. Some of them other big bolty bits. And a stepper motor. Oh my goodness. We're on to a stepper motor. Things are moving forward very, very quickly now. So I want the one that says Y-axis. That one says extruder. Y-axis. So that's Y-axis. Close that box back up. Okay, so what do we do now? We need that pulley, which is there. Okie dokie, we need those 3 that are there. Still wondering why I've got a spare one of those and a spare one of those. Why do I think they should be in there? Am I missing a trick here? Should there be one in the middle there? There should. How on earth? Nobody picked up on that, did they? I've got my rods in and everything now. This is going to become difficult. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to carefully turn this over. Wish somebody had told me. Oh, wrong Allen key again. I don't honestly know how I missed that. Maybe I was just talking too much. So. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So that's actually a hole there that's bigger. So I've got to put the standoff in there first and then sit that back over the top. So that's entirely my bad. Nobody else to blame but me. But at least I've realised now. I'm sorry if that flickering camera's doing your head in. I know it's doing my head in. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Just bear with. Just want to see if I can do something to stop it from jiggering about like some sort of idiot. No, because it's already set at 50 Hz, so that should stop it, but it isn't doing. Now, it would appear like it doesn't want to play. I'm terribly sorry, guys, that you're having to put up with that. But I can't really see a way of making it stop. Right, I need to get my spanner under there. Used to be one of my favourite sayings. I make the mistake so you don't have to. There we go. We can recover. We can rebuild this. We have the technology to make the world's first bionic man. Just checking to make sure that I put this back on the right way around. Again, it would be ridiculous if I got it wrong. So the open side is towards the single bearing. So it is indeed that way. We will replace that. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves, gentlemen. While I've got you on, can I just... can you tell me if you get audio when I do this? I just want to test one of my widgets. Just bear with me. We're doing a widget test. Right, so I've done a widget testy thing. Can you tell me whether you get the audio for that or not? Because it's difficult for me to tell. Okay. It's better. Okay, got that. Right, so step 22. No audio. Both audio to it. Both audio to it. No audio to it. Right, okay, alright, yeah, sorry. Let's do that. Right, I'm sorry if this deafens anybody. We're going to try again. We're going to try with another subscriber. There we go. If somebody can tell me whether that's actually functioning, that would be very helpful. We can hear you. I know you can hear me, Derek. Stupid boy, Pike. No audio. How weird. Because I have the chat box audio. Oh. Sister in the house. It's alert box, isn't it? So it should be working. in fairness, it's not going to matter, is it? Because everybody's subscribed already. Right, so let's see if we can get this the right way around first time, shall we? Which way have they got their cable? So it's that side on. Okay. There is a flat part on the motor shaft. Rotate it similarly to the first picture to see the direction of the arrows. Yes, okay, we can do that. So they've basically done that. At a sort of 45-degree angle. Place the pulley T16 2GT on the Y motor shaft as shown in the picture. Don't press the pulley against the motor. Leave a 2mm gap between both parts. Okay, so we put that onto there. And we'll set it a bit kind of like that. That's how we'll set it. So there's a gap there. Not sure if it's 2mm or not. I haven't got my micrometers with me. So we'll just do that. Click on the next picture. Make sure I'm doing things right. Yes. Don't press the pulley against the motor. Leave 2mm gap between both parts. Use the universal wrench to set the gap. Now there you go. You see? So what they're saying is put the wrench into there, push that like that, and that's your 2mm gap. And then I can do this over here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Then we're going to tighten up that Allen bolt, I guess. One of the screws must be facing directly against the flat part. Yes, it certainly is. Slightly tighten the first screw. Okay, so wrong Allen key again. So that's slightly tighten. Turn the shaft and slightly tighten the second screw. Turn the shaft. And slightly tighten the second screw. Okay, we've done that. Ensure you have the correct orientation of the pulley on the shaft. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Press the rewind button. You see, this is why you must read the instructions. And why I reiterate again, I make the mistakes, so you don't have to. I'm sure you will, but you don't have to. So loosen those grub screws off. Get that set up against there like that. Get the first grub screw slightly tightened. Like that. Rotate it a little. Tighten the second one. Now here we go. First person that gets banned from my channel. You tell as many tales as you like, sister. Nobody necessarily has to believe you. Right, to place the Y-axis motor, so hold it on the mini Y-plate rear. So that's that. That goes that way. I think I'll take my spanner out now. Okay, so that's like that. Make sure the cable from the motor is orientated the same way it is in the picture. It is. And then bang them 3 screws in. Right, we're down to the last 35 minutes of the stream for this evening, gentlemen and lady. As, like I say, we're going to have to watch Only Connect on catch-up because that started 25 minutes ago. But we will watch that, and we're going to watch that on catch-up at 9 o'clock. But I did say I would not be in here all night, so 9 o'clock is our cut-off time. Yeah, it might have been our first family computer, but it wasn't what I wanted. Once again, make sure that all three are placed in the extrusion. They're definitely still in there. We'll turn it back over. Oh. Yeah, 2 there and 1 there. So we're right still. Place the mini Y plate. I said mini, damn it. Place the Y plate rear on the smooth rods. Push the Y plate rear all the way onto both extrusions. Secure both parts with 2 M5x20R screws. When tightening the M5x20R screws, push on the extrusion from above. So basically the same as we've done the other end, is what it's saying. So cable's going to come out over there somewhere. Where does it say actually comes out? Let's look at the pictures. I see the cable's going to go into the channel. Right, I see. So that cable's going to go into there. Would that work easier if I actually turned that around? It probably would. But I've got it the way they've told me to have it. That is correct. That is coming out there. They're going to then... Okay. No, go with what they say. So that's going to go into there. We're going to offer that up. This is not as easy as it looks. Does it look easy? I bet you're glad, Rich, you didn't get the kit now, aren't you? Eh? I have to pick this up and make sure I get this right. Making sure everything lines up holes wise, which is good to do. That's that in there. So we did have a Commodore 64, that's quite correct, Sarah. And then I got Commodore Amiga, which I then bought an expansion board for that went in the bottom, and you had to leave the bottom off because the fan used to stick out the bottom because it was an expansion board for the processor and it ran really hot. And then I got an external hard drive, external floppy drive for it. What was it? No, it was an external hard drive for it as well. DST, that's the correct side, Andrew, I think. Better be. They're on this side. 2 there, 1 there. Which is the same side as that, and I'm sure that's the right place. Yeah, no, they're definitely on the right side, Andrew. Thank you. My Amiga was a 1200, seem to remember. Phenomenal pieces of kit at the time. That's not sat all the way in. Just loosen that up a bit. Atari 1600, wow. Never was into Ataris. Had a few friends that were, but no, ultimately Commodore fan. Why isn't that pushing all the way home? I bet you have, sister. I bet you have. Ah, there we go. That's it. She's snapped into place there now. Don't like using too much force, but sometimes you just have to. It was a 500 with extra RAM, etc. Good times. Oh, absolutely, Thomas. Yeah, absolutely good times. One of my favourite games. Well, I had loads, but Spy versus Spy. I don't know whether any of you will remember that. But Spy versus Spy was my one of my all-time favourite games on it. Could hardly play it. Based on a comic strip in Mad Magazine, I seem to remember, Spy versus Spy. I'm sure the Americans are more aware of this than anybody in the UK. But yeah, Spy vs. Spy was a strip in Mad Magazine, and they bought a game out of it, and it was one of my favourite games to play. Right, we've got those in. Ooh, burn me feet time. Sorry, anti-vibration pad set. Doesn't say mini anti-vibration pad set. 4 pads out. Turn them, stick them, bang them on the bottom. I'm trying to remember what else I played. It's just Spy vs. Spy sticks in my head. It really does. Alien Breed. No. I also had a drum synthesizer on it as well, which was quite fun to play. Alien Breed, was that the one with the eggs? Or was I thinking of something else? Okay, 4 firm pads are on. We shall turn back over and we will give them a little push down like that to make sure that they're sticking. Streets of Rage, yes, Streets of Rage, definitely. I'm remembering another one, something like Yi Hai Kung Fu or something. Or maybe that was just what the noise it made. The following steps prepare the GT belt. This is where it could all go terribly wrong. Derek, that's nothing to be proud of. Right, so we're onto the belt. So, to turn it upside down again. There are so many titles out there that I had and I cannot for the life of me remember. But it's remembering the days of getting a tape-to-tape machine and copying your friends' games. Which of course is entirely illegal, and I would not suggest anybody ever did that. But you'd copy your friends' games, and then you would spend however many umpteen hours you would have watching that multicoloured loading screen, and then it would just stop when it got to the end, and it wouldn't have loaded, and you have to do it all over again. That was Commodore 64 days. When you got onto the Amiga and you had a disk drive, well, that was just out of this world. Out of this world. Fantastic. You see the memories that come flooding back. That's round there, that's round there, that's round there. Pull it across there, round there, onto there and into there. Do you know, I can probably do that. Almost like I knew where it was going. Oh, just going to make sure I get enough tension on this. I'm sure Mr. Prusa will have a clever program. See what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something that's not on the instructions. I'm going to get the pliers out. So the tape machine eats it. No, it was the fact that you got almost to the end and it had done all its flashy lighty stuff and you thought, yeah, it's loading, it's loading, it's loading, and then it would just stop. And it was like, no, I've got to start again. Another 25 minutes. The youth of today, they have no idea, do they? Cool. Game reviews in the weekly magazines on a Saturday morning with a mug of tea and a packet of biscuits. Absolutely. If not 2 packets of biscuits. And then you used to get the free cassettes on the front. Oh, you see, going back to the ZX81, you got the ZX81 magazine and you had the pages of code you used to type in. And you type in page upon page upon page upon page upon page of code, and it would play tic-tac-toe at the end of it. Make sure the belt is placed in the axis of the printer. Both top and bottom part of the belt should be parallel above each other. To adjust the belt position, release the screws on the thready bit. So basically, I just need to run that up and down a little. They just need to get pushed a little bit further in, I think. Make sure they're seated all the way back. Using the little Allen key. I would say that was pretty good. I would say that's probably quite well aligned. We won't tighten those Allen bolts up just yet though. Move the Y carriage all the way away from you. Using your finger on your left hand, push the belt down. Some force should be needed for bending the belt, but don't try to overstretch the belt as you might damage the printer. Change the tension. Yeah, right, okay. So flip it over. Push that all the way back. See, that's slack. But it won't be. I would say that was about right. Yeah, I'm fairly happy at that. I would say that tension is fairly good. You can change the tension in the belt by adjusting the two screws on the mini Y plate front. Tighten the screws, bring the mini Y belt idler closer and thus increasing overall tension. Release the screws. Use this technique below described to test if the belt is properly stretched. Use pliers to hold the Y-axis motor shaft. Move the carriage with your hand towards the Y-axis motor. Don't use excessive force. If the belt is stretched properly, you should feel a resistance and the Y carriage won't move at all. If the belt is too loose, it will deform and create a wave and jump over the teeth of the pulley. So what they're basically saying is, turn that like that, cop onto that, do that. That ain't going nowhere, sister. Yeah, that was to do the speed, Derek. That was to do like a speed controller, so you got the note at the right pitch, and then it would load better. Right, somebody needs to eat 5 jelly beans. I can't, so one of you has to. Crumbs, I haven't got very far, have I? We've got a quarter of an hour. We're going to try and get the buddy board in before we run out of time. So Y-axis is done. We have a fully working Y-axis. If anything, I think that maybe is a little bit tight, but we will sort that out. We will sort that out. So last quarter of an hour, guys. We're going to see if we can get Buddy in, but I'm not going to rush it. So we have that. We need to go into this bag now. You see, this is now empty, so we've done that job right. These are all empty, so these can all go away. We'll open this bag. So we need 2, 4, 6, 8 of the square ones, 4 of the others. Okay. Well, I thought I was getting there, Andrew, until I realised that he hadn't told me I could have any gummy bears yet. So, quite clearly we haven't got that far. It's the first time I'm allowed gummy bears is now. Dial up. You see, you missed out on all that, sis. You'd gone by there when we had the 56k modems. And then we went up to 128k ones, and Mum once got a phone bill of over £100 because I was on the internet. Well, BBS boards in those days. All night. All night. By heck, did I get a thrashing for that? Well, not a thrashing, but I had to pay for it. But yeah, BBS boards. Again, massively showing my age there. At home, we didn't have to disconnect the phone to put the modem on, but if anybody picked the phone up while you had the modem running, it screwed up your connection. Well, BBS was bulletin board system, wasn't it? Is that right? Yeah, that's it, Vert. You'll be upstairs, madly on a board, talking to somebody or doing something or whatever you were doing, and somebody downstairs picks the phone up and bunk, connection lost. These are a little on the tight side, getting these square nuts in. Might need a little bit of gentle persuasion. There we go. See, you're going to Econet systems now. You see, gosh, I am old. My goodness, I am old. Older than I even thought I was. USR 56K, yeah. Yeah, 1440 baud rate. Yeah, oh my goodness. When we went from the 56K to the 1440, I thought, you know, never get anything faster than that. I thought that was prime time, you know. I honestly thought we'd reached as fast as things would go. And then you used to get computer magazines that had a disc on it to get you onto the internet, and I can't remember what the servers were. But it was like the same three companies all the time. Somebody will know. They were all American. Okay, so that went into there. AOL was one of them. Yeah, there was a couple more as well, sis. But yeah, AOL always had their CDs on the front of the magazines. Always. Okay, so we've got those ones in, that one in, that one in. And then we've got the two to do in the top. CompuServe, there you go. Oh, you guys. Does take you back, doesn't it? It's like going down to Corrigan's on the seafront, which was an amusement arcade, which is still there in fairness. I'm playing track and field. Mashing those buttons on track and field. Retro memories. So then flip it over. It's two in the back. Right, and then nuts into those. So I'll just use the bolts to help put those in. We've fallen asleep. Down to 10 viewers again. We're down to the last 9 minutes of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you would like to support the channel, I'll be amazed. We'll discuss that right at the end. So this is your chance now to run away before I start demanding money with menaces. So that's all the nuts in the bodyboard case. We've got a foam pad to put on. Done that. Foam pad has to go into that hole there. Goes in like that. I don't think we're going to get Buddy in. Oh, we might be getting Buddy in. Warning, make sure to protect the electronics against electrostatic charge and always unpack the electronics right before you need them. Now, I have actually got an electronic wristy bandy thing, but I've never ever had a problem frying my boards, so I'm not going to bother. Wish me luck. So, board, sticker, 4 screws. 4 screws. Board, buddy board. I will not throw the silver sticker away. That is very important. There is the buddy board. And a little picture of Buddy on it. Rest in peace, Buddy. Put that back on its anti-static pad for now. So we just need to orientate it the correct way. So those and those line up. Drop that in like so. Give it a little rattle until it sits in. And then we've got to stick some screws in. 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top. It's saying put them in with the pliers. Grab the pliers. Don't think that screw is perfectly lined up. It's Buddy that's not perfectly lined up. We do miss Buddy, bless him. Okay, so we've got one in, so we'll just loosely flick that in. So I think once I've got these 4 screws in, bolts in even, we will call it for this evening. And like I say, we will resume tomorrow night, 7 o'clock UK time. Many of you would come back, I would appreciate it, because it's always nice to know I'm not just sat here doing this for myself. I will edit this video at some point, and we will keep it up for other people who may be building this kit at a later date. Nope. That one is not going to want to go in for some reason. I think she just needs a little bit of gentle persuasion. Well, sis, you can watch it on catch up later. I won't delete it. It'll be around for you to watch. And you never know, we might not even get finished tomorrow at this rate. I mean, I am on duty at the moment, so it's possible I'll be called away tomorrow night. You never know. I was expecting to be called away tonight, to be honest with you, but we've done quite well so far. No issues I've had to go and deal with. Okay, so that's those 4 screws in, not too tight, as it says. Oh, my nut's out. But I'm only here for the chat. Well, at least you're here for something, to say. There we go, it's buddy board in. Nicely done. Nicely done. We're going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking the time to come and watch me make a fool of myself, as usual. Like I say, we will continue tomorrow night, same time. Thanks for watching. Hope you've all hit the like button. Hope you're all subscribed. You can support the channel if you like through Streamlabs. There is a way of doing that. You can send me a couple of quid or whatever, just, you know, to help me have a drink, you know, have something to keep me cool. But again, thanks guys for tuning in, really do appreciate it. I'm not going to have to work out how to end the stream, because that's always a difficult bit to do, but we're going to do it properly. We're going to do it with the intro as the outro, so cover your ears. We'll catch you all later. Take care, have fun, and we'll see you tomorrow.